What up? Welcome back to Cool Kid TCG. Here we have a matchup of Purple Luffy versus RP Kid. Very interesting matchup. We're going to mold this hand. I didn't like it. We did have a bond play we could play. We won the dice roll. We're going first. So we did have a decent turn 2 play on the 4 Dawn turn with the bond play. But I'm looking for Zoro, Luffy, Taro, something along those lines. RP Kid's a very interesting leader. He has 2 effects. One is... on his turn, he loses 1,000 power if he has 4 or more life. He's a 5 life leader. The other one is when attacking, he can return a Dawn and gain 2,000 power for the turn. So it's kind of like one that's like a slow starter. I'm going to approach this in an interesting way. I'm playing my friend Richie BW, a member of the Deck Swabbers podcast. Be sure to check them out. We're going to Dawn Pass. We don't have a great turn 2 play here. We're hoping we draw into a Zoro or something along those lines, either from the draw or from taking our life next turn. But we're just checking out. He searches. He plays a killer searcher. He can search kid pirates. He grabs an interesting kid that's basically Luffy's effect, my leader on a stick, I guess. We ramped to 4, and we're just gonna have to play the Nami blocker, no effect. Not a very weak play in my opinion, but that's what we're going to do. But yeah, he grabbed a kid that's a 3/5 kid that on play, he can ramp in active Dawn by taking his top life. So it really helps him kind of get to the sweet spot where he's trying to get down to 3 life. That's why I don't swing into his life. Maybe I'm being a little bit too cautious. We talked about it later. But especially with the way my hand is, no Luffy Taros or Zoro Juros in sight. I want to wait until I have a decent board before I'm going to start swinging into his life, especially the fact that he can take one of his lives because he does play the kid and ramp in active Dawn. So now he's going to swing 5 into life, I believe. He didn't return 1. He didn't activate effect. We're just going to give him the blocker. He might have actually returned 1. So we're at our 6th Dawn turn. We ramped to 7. We're going to play the Zoro Juro. We did find it. We don't have a Luffy Taro. Now we grab the Luffy Taro. We still have 3 Dawn. We're going to play down the Nico Robin blocker for 2 and then keep 1 up. And we're still not going to swing. The reason being is I don't want to give him that extra 1k power again until we've got our board a little bit more settled. Cards I'm actually really worried about because I played against him in practice games before. He has a card, I think it's called Puck Run. He swings 5 in a life, I give him 1k. And now he's going to play the 7/8 kid. That kid on play and when attacking can buff your leader by 1 if you return it on for my turn as well. But yeah, now we're I believe at 9 Dawn. I want to get rid of that kid he has on board just to keep his board weak. But yeah, Punk Ron is a card that can buff any kid pirate by like 1,000, and then he has a killer card which is a 5 cost which can restand any kid pirate. So that could be like a way he could end the game, is he could play that Punk Rotten and then restand his leader or another kid. So don't want to do that. We're going to play the Luffy Taro out into the Songoro, and we're going to swing 7 into his kid, and he's going to give it to us. So now our board's looking pretty good. I think now we can begin pressing his life. He plays down a kid blocker, the one we run in this deck as well, that when you return it Dawn, get it back active. It works very well with the 7/8 kid that he's already played, the starter deck kid. Yeah, because he can return it on and then he could just get it back active. He's at 4 life, so he's still a 4k leader. Our board's looking okay. We have a blocker and we have 3 viable bodies. He's going to swing 8 and activate the effect to buff his leader by 1, and we're just going to give him the blocker at this point. I believe he has 5 standing Dawn. We have a decent amount of 2Ks in hand. We have Hitokiri Kamazo and Soba Mask. So again, feeling okay. I believe we also have the 9-10 Luffy with Rush. That might be a play that we could establish next turn and swing up, maybe swing into the 7/8 kid. He's going to play the Usohachi and rest our Songoro. And then he's going to swing 9 into it, I believe. Because he has buffed his leader once, He's going to use leader effect to return to Dawn and buff it again, I believe. We're going to give him 2/2Ks to get up to 10. This is kind of take most of the counter out of her hand, but I like the idea of having that Songor. We're going to be able to, it's going to draw a card back. Hopefully we can draw some more counter. We start off with a 6 to life. This is probably a mistake in the fact that we should swing the Songoro first, just in case he hits a crazy trigger. But now we're going to start pressing the life. But yeah, because Songoro has an effect that we can draw a card when attacking. So slight mistake in the sequencing, but overall we're not going to get punished for it. We draw another 2K, so that feels great. We still have all 10 Dons standing. At this point, I'm kind of hoping that he gives us the kid blocker, or with one of those swings gives a kid blocker plus a 1K, but he's not going to do that. Maybe I could have swung the Luffy first in order to try to bait that out a little bit better. But he's a really smart player, so he probably knows that. And he knows the purple Luffy. He's actually the one that put me on the purple Luffy. So he probably knows that the 9/10 Luffy could come down. He's thinking about whether to trigger what he's going. I don't know exactly what events or triggers he has in his deck, but he's going to not trigger. And then we're going to play 9, play the Luffy, return to Dawn, draw a card. We draw another 2K. So the 2Ks we just gave up, we get back. That feels great. And we're going to swing 10 into life. The reason being is because... Oh, no, we swing 10 into the kid. I was hoping we'd get the kid blocker at this point. But he gives us a 0-cost event, as well as another card, I believe. Or maybe it was a 2K, 1K. Either way, we got 2 cards out of hand. His board's still looking pretty big, but overall, there's only 2 cards we need to really worry about, which is the kid blocker and that 7/8 kid. The killer could be troublesome again if he does that combo we talked about earlier, where he punk rottens and then restands it. That could be a target. That's not great. Here he establishes a dragon. That's a big boy. That's gonna, on play as rush, and can give 2 Dawn active, or can give 2 Dawn rested Dawn. He gives 2 Dawn to leader and swings 7, I believe. And we're gonna give him counter. Now he's going to swing in 8 into the Songoro, and we're going to have to let it die at this point, because I'm afraid of the dragon swing, and I want to be able to try to keep if he dons up and try to kills our Luffy, for example, I want to be able to keep that alive. We still have the Usohachi in hand. Oh, he hasn't swing leader yet. Just a kid, and he buffed up his leader. So it's currently standing with the 2 Dawn on it. He's about to swing 8. He could swing 10 if he leader effects when attacking. And he has the 9K swing, as well as 2 standing Dawn. He swings 5 into life, puts 2 Dawn, swings 5 into life. An interesting play I didn't expect, but I'm going to take, just because I don't want to give him any counter in case we need to protect one of the big boys, the Luffy Taro or the 10. He's going to swing with leader now. We have a Gum Gum Giant, but we're going to take, and then he's going to swing his 9. And here's where we Gum Gum Giant. We're going to pitch the Luffy Taro, draw 2, and then we have to pitch 1 more because he swings 10. So we give him the 1K Bon Clay. And then we start our turn. Here I'm thinking he doesn't have that many cards in hand, I believe. I believe he has 4 or 5. And we have some decent swings here. He has a blocker. I kind of want to test the waters, but at the same time, we're also vulnerable. If I go for game and I don't get it, I do have some Gum Gum Giants and some 2Ks, but he has a lot of swings, especially with that dragon on board, and he could play some rush cards. He could either play some of the rush Luffy stuff. Plus, I'm really, in the back of my head, I'm thinking about that punk rotten killer combo that's very troublesome, that I don't want to have to worry about. So we're going to start off with a 3 for Usohachi to rest his kid blocker. And here's where we swing 8 to life. We talked about this later. He's going to give me, because he's a 6K leader right now based off of the kid swing, he's going to give me the 0-cost event. We talk about this later. The fact that he gave me the counter now made me immediately pivot to trying to kill his board, because I thought, oh, I'm not going to be able to kill him this turn. I could probably kill him if, like, I still have 3 swings. I need to hit him 3 times. So in theory, I could still win, but at this point, I don't want to risk it at all. If he's countered out of 8 already, I'm scared. So I'm thinking about the best way to do this. He has 3 bodies that I'm worried about: the dragon, the kid blocker, and that kid that buffs his leader. Here I'm looking, I was looking to see if he had given us a killer and the punk rotten, because I wanted to read them just in case I knew the effects. Here we're swinging 6 into 6. He has 2 cards in hand at this point. I'm hoping that I can try to clear some cards. I hope he gives it to us, and then I'm going to swing. He gives us the 2K. That's interesting. I think he gives us 2K. Now I swing 10 into the 8. He only has 1 card in hand. There's no way he could counter out of that. But I only have 1 swing. I'm thinking about the best way to do this. I'm thinking about whether I want to put 4 and swing into the dragon with my leader. But I decide to swing and make sure I get the kill. I swing 8 into the kid. He did tell me later he had a 2K in hand, so I think we played this a smart way. We keep 3 Dawn up. We have, for the Gum Gum Giant, we have 2 in hand. We've already used 1. It's kind of just a precaution. Maybe we get it off life, or maybe we draw into another Gum Gum Giant. But ultimately, we're going to have to try to survive. I'm worried about, like I said, that combo, because he could swing 9 with dragon, and that's a tough swing to do. And then he could put 3 Dawn on kid. He could use leader effect with kid. He could activate punk rotten and power it up 5K, and then restand it with killer and swing like 3 times. So he could swing like 13 in that scenario, or something along those lines. He could swing 13 twice. That's why I'm thinking, oh man, I got to keep all these Gum Gum Giants. I do feel good. We have a bunch of other 2Ks in hand. He decides to start off with 11 life, and here's where I do a lot of thinking. I do the math wrong, because I'm thinking about, he has 8 Dawn standing, and I'm thinking if he activates Punk Rotten, powers him up 1, and then puts that last Dawn on, he can swing 11 and then restand it with killer and swing 11 again. Where I make a math mistake, or like just a mistake in general, is I forgot he could do leader effect, and he in theory could swing 13-13. That's why I decide to take this life, because I'm thinking it's going to be 3 11K swings. Might as well, I'm going to have to counter out of him anyways. Might as well just take this one now. Here I'm really thinking it out. But again, I think it wrong, because I'm thinking I only need to counter out of, like, he's going to swing 11 twice. I mean, worst case scenario, those are the 2 cards in his hand, which are Punk Rotten Killer. So I just take. But he doesn't have that combo. If he did, again, like I said, he would swing 13-13. But yeah, we have a bunch of Gum Gum Giants. He has 8 Dawn standing. And what he's going to do is he's going to swing 13 once for life. He's going to put all 8 Dawn on. Oh, he's going to swing 15, because he's going to put all 8 Dawn on and then activate leader effect. A very strong move. One that I'm going to be able to counter out of because of the Gum Gum Giant. So here he returns the Dawn. And buffs his leader up. So this is a 15K swing. We start off with a Gum Gum Giant. We go +4. We're at 9. We draw into another Gum Gum Giant, so we could activate it if we need. We do a second one, and we're going to pitch the Law, return 2, draw 2. So now we're at 13. We need to go a 2K and a 1K at this point. We could do another Gum Gum Giant, but we do 2K, 1K, and that's the counter right there. And he just concedes at this point. Very interesting game. RP Kid's a very interesting leader. Slept on leader. I feel like he's been slept on for a while. I've seen builds in like OP06-ish time that were like film package, like the red purple film that was mainly the Uta stuff. I've seen some builds for it, but Richie's been cooking RP Kid, especially because he's a menace on purple Luffy. I call him the purple Luffy guy. So he wanted to take a break. He's playing a deck he says is funner for now. But yeah, very interesting game. I probably was a little too cautious at the beginning. We talked about it later, and I did make some like counting. I failed to account for a leader effect at the end there, but it ended up working out for us. Very interesting matchup. Let me know in the comments if there's anything else I missed or any improvements you think you can make. Thank you for tuning in, and see you next time.